I think it's just okay to take some risk, and it is okay to take a chance, because life is a chance. So
Yeah.
that's the lesson I learned.
Hey, this is Jordan Hill, and this is the Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. Thank you, Hotel Salem and Compass Visuals, for sponsoring today's episode. Today I'm here with John Nasirullah.
You got it. You got it.
Safi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? And first of all,
I'm
thank you
great.
for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. You know, we've tried to schedule it for a while, or at least I have, and so I'm just glad you took the time.
And I'm so glad it's finally happening. I'll be honest with you. I feel guilty because, it didn't happen before, but it's finally happening.
Yeah,
today,
exactly.
So happy to be here with you.
I mean, and, life gets crazy, and I would not be a good friend if I didn't, if I was trying to add more to your plate, because I know you're always busy. You're writing books. You do so much.
Well, yeah, but I have time for you, Jordan. You're awesome, and we all know that. And I really wanted to join you for this podcast, but like you said, life sometimes gets busy, and I've been a little bit busy. I've been working on multiple projects. So yeah,
I'm excited to hear more about them. Well, yeah. So those that are listening, just to know a little bit about you. I know when I say, tell me about your background, your journey thus far. That is books,
yes,
so I know
yes,
you can't say it in a few sentences,
yes.
But where did you grow up? What is your journey? I mean, now you're an author in Oregon and so much more, but yeah, do you want to just kind of dive in at kind of like a...
Yes, thank you for asking. It's a great question.
It's quite a story. It's like
It is actually. I put my whole life in my first book. I wouldn't say my whole life because I've been here in the state for a while now, and I have to write about that experience as well.
And the name of your first book
is? It's called "Get the Turp Up Here." It's just a war stories.
Yeah.
It's an eyewitness accounts. Of war as an interpreter to U.S. forces in Afghanistan. So back to your question, I was born and raised in Afghanistan, in eastern part of Afghanistan.
Okay.
It was a tiny, tiny village deep in a mountain, in the Hindu Kush Mountains. That's where I grew up. I went to school there for a little while. And then things started getting crazier. We decided to move. When I say we, I mean my entire family decided to move to a bigger city called Jalalabad. And when we moved to Jalalabad, I continued to go to school. I went to school for a little while, and then I ended up working for the U.S. military as an interpreter and translator and culture advisor for many, many years.
And how old were you both on paper and not on paper when you started working for the U.S. Army?
A lot of people ask me that questions, and so we just celebrated Veterans Day, and I posted a bunch of pictures, my brothers and sisters.
And thank you for your service and all you've done.
Oh, thank you. And some of the pictures are very taken when I was very, very young, and if you go to the comments, and I got some messages from soldiers that is work, was like, "Oh my gosh, we could not believe that this is you." So when I started working, I was very young. I was at the age of 14 or 15 when I started working for the U.S. military, and it is a long story. If people wanted to know, I'm not marketing for my book though, but there's a whole chapter.
It's quite a story.
About my birthday and how I ended up working for the U.S. military at the age of 14 or 15. And I did talk about it in details.
Yes, yep. So. I have that book, so definitely recommend.
Well, thank you. And my third one is coming out soon.
Yeah. Wow. And then do you remember how many years you worked for the Army, for the military?
Yes, it was almost 9 years.
Okay. Wow.
I started working at the end of 2008, and I was a combat interpreter.
Okay.
So this entire 9 years, I spent it at combat. I was mostly at frontline. I mean, the 9 years was at frontline. I was at combat, and that's where I got shot.
It's amazing that you're alive, actually. I mean, that's just an incredible story. Like, you were meant for great things,
Yeah, I
clearly,
mean,
'cause
I cannot believe that
yeah.
I'm here sitting with you,
Mhm.
Jordan,
I
and
know.
talking to people. I mean, not in a million years I thought I would ever make it out alive.
Right.
And that's not something I was thinking. Everyone else that
Mhm.
I work with different military units,
Right.
a lot of them were checking on me to make
Mhm.
sure that I'm okay or and I was
Aw.
still alive,
Yeah.
because they knew that I was going to get
Mhm.
killed at some point because I
Mhm.
was at the front line 24/7. We were out there fighting.
Mhm. And when during those years, did you ever think that you would move to the United States? Did you want
Uh,
that?
I did not know anything about coming
Uh-huh.
to the United States, but
Uh-huh.
at the end of 2009, when my first unit was returning home,
Mhm.
10th Mountain Division, a lot of soldiers wanted to bring me with them. They
Mhm.
didn't understand the whole process. I didn't understand it very well. They
Mhm.
couldn't just bring me. I remember one of my platoon sergeants told me, like, I want to put you in my backpack and just get you out of here, with me. I said, I wish it
Oh,
was it was easy
yeah.
like that, but it wasn't. At the beginning, no, but later on, when things were not safe for me to be there,
Mhm.
and it wasn't even safe for my family, then I decided like I needed to leave. But still, it took many years for me to get out of there. Like it wasn't
Mhm.
like the whole process was. If you would have worked for 1 year for the U.S. military or for the U.S. government,
Mhm.
then you could have come to the United States. They would get your paperwork approved and everything else. But
Yep.
mine took a little longer. And
Mhm.
then I learned the reason why it took too long for me to get out of there. But
Mhm.
finally, I got out and
Yeah.
happy to be here.
Okay. And then, so whenever you moved, did you come straight to Oregon?
No, no.
Okay.
When I got out of the country, I ended up going to Texas.
Okay.
The hottest place on earth. That's what I tell everybody. So I was in Texas at Fort Bliss military base
Mhm.
for a little bit,
Okay.
and then I moved to Massachusetts with
Mhm.
a military family
Mhm.
uh, that I used
Wow.
to work for one of the family members,
Uh-huh.
and I was in Massachusetts for 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
And I had a friend here in Oregon.
Yeah.
He was always telling me about Oregon. He said,
Mhm.
like, you gotta come out. It's a beautiful place. Just please come visit.
Uh-huh.
I never heard of Oregon, to be honest with you. I did not know anything about Oregon.
Yeah.
And then I decided to come out. I had
Mhm.
a round trip, so I wanted to go back. I had tickets for round trip. I wanted to go back. But when I came out, somehow I ended up staying here.
Mhm.
And I loving it so far. I mean, love it. It feels home.
Yeah, yeah. And you play a really important role at Salem for Refugees. And the name of your position is
Case manager
case
used to be.
manager.
Now I'm
Uh-huh.
an employment coordinator
Employment
because there's
coordinator.
no more
Yeah.
families or immigrants, refugees are coming. So we're kind of shift
Mhm.
our roles.
Got it. Yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
agile with all of the changes that are always happening.
Yes.
And that's when I met you was at Salem for Refugees. And that was such a mind-blowing experience because when I went there, I realized that you and the other individuals that work there are such high level, well-educated, just caring, amazing people. Everybody there. It just was the neatest experience. And so just visiting it.
Yeah, well, so thank you, Jordan. And
Yeah.
I cannot think of a better word to thank you
Mhm.
and appreciate you and everyone else in our community does for Salem for Refugees.
Mhm.
None of this would be possible. I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
like none of the work that we do on a daily basis would be possible without the unwavering support, the kindness and
Mhm.
generosity of our community, the greater
Mhm.
Salem.
Yeah.
I heard about the new neighbors or the community members that they're
Mhm.
helping us. They put thousands and thousands of hours volunteering and helping
Mhm.
the newcomers in Salem, and you're just one of them. So for our listeners, they should know that we always appreciate your work. We're lucky to have you there, and we're lucky to have you one of our good neighbor team for our new neighbors.
Yeah, it was really neat. And are you still in school? I know when we met, you were taking classes in school, but are you still in school? And is that, well, I'll ask that and then I'll go where
Well,
we're
so I
going.
graduated from
Oh, you
Shamakata.
did?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. I
Okay.
did. I'm on a short break, but I'm going back to university as a
Yeah.
senior. Yes.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Now, is that going to relate? Because you're in a really interesting spot in life where many business owners are, where they're maybe still getting, going to school. They might work a job or a corporate job or a management job. And then they're also pursuing their own endeavors. And you're in that spot, and I'm in that spot. And so I think a lot of people will relate to where you're also writing your third book and like probably other business ventures that I don't even know about yet. And so how do you kind of like know what route to take and how to make them all work well together? Like, are you focusing more on school and just letting the other ones follow? Or are you focusing more on your like job, like, the Salem For Refugees job and letting the other ones follow? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make
Yeah,
sense.
because it's a lot all at one time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it is the same question a lot of people ask me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you have time to hang out or do, fun stuff? And I do.
Yeah.
And just because I always wanted to have, wanted to create a schedule or a list for myself. And let's say like focus, they always say we can't do 2 tasks at a time,
Right.
So that's what I do. What I do, I create a list of stuff that I wanted to get it done and then give it a priority, like a priority list. I do run a bunch of businesses as well. I recently launched a company called Rakistan Security LLC.
What is it?
Rakistan. It's the military unit. It's served with military 101st Airborne. So it was my favorite unit. And I said, I'm going to name my company after this unit.
Wow.
It's called Rakistan Security LLC.
Okay.
Provide security for mostly for forestry. For forestry fires.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
That's like unseasonal. So that's what I've been working on.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. And of course, my primary work for Salem For Refugees is my main focus.
Right.
It's something that I focus on helping newcomers, refugees and immigrants coming from all over the world to help them and support them thrive here in America.
Yeah.
If I have time, I like to write. Like I said, I always do fun stuff. I mean, I give time to myself too,
Yeah.
But I also believe that, we can do it. Every one of us, we all have the abilities to get a lot done if we decide to or if we wanted to.
Right. Yeah. Common phrase that I hear, and I heard it again recently, is if you want something to get done, give it to a busy person. Have you heard that?
I've never heard of it.
But it makes sense, right?
It does make sense because it's already.
We have to have it dialed in, our schedules.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I like that when you have everything you need to do, you prioritize it. Are you running off of a list like that, like every day, or is it like a physical list or a mental list?
Well, I have both. I have a physical. I have a physical list and I have a mental list, and it always changes as well. I have something like, I want to get it done today, and then something comes up, and then like, okay, I will do this later. You can also call it like a little bit of OCD that I have probably.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get stuff done. Like I really wanted to get it done. If I have something on the list and that needs to be done, I said, I gotta get this done. Just probably like I wanted to get it done even before I go to bed. So
yeah. So how has your experience from your interpreter days, like, and being in combat and just that incredible story, how has that shaped you as a person that for what you do now, whether it's for, Salem For Refugees or as an author or business owner? What have you known? What have you noticed about your character and how that comes into play?
A very good question. It shaped my life in a very, very positive way. And I talk to everybody about this. I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm very, very thankful for everything that I have. And I do understand. And if something happens, I believe, it happens for good reasons. And I just don't give up, and I continue to fight and I continue to deal. And I understand that, life can't be easy all the time. It has its own ups and downs, and, we have to deal with it. And that is something, it gives me the strength and power to never even think of like giving up on something. Or, those experience working and supporting different military units in Afghanistan, being shot, lost family members. Shaped me in a very positive way. And I see things in a very positive way. If there is an issue or challenge in life, as we all deal with it, I understand that, at the end of the day, things going to be all right. And there's a new chapter, there's a new tomorrow, there's a new story. So that's what I believe in. That's what those experiences give it to me.
Yeah. Does that give you a higher threshold for like discomfort or for challenges when they arise, like in your everyday life?
It does. But it also, there's something in the back of my head, like
Mm-hmm.
it did happen in the past. It didn't last. The pain, the struggle, the challenges that I had gone through, none of
Mm-hmm.
those lasted. And here I am. I'm still alive. I was
Yeah.
shot at one point, and I lost every bit of every bit of a hope that I would never make it out. And here I am. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Even in, like if I get sick, I mean, it's common. I feel like, well, I'm going to get better, whether it's tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, after a week or up to 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Or if there's a challenge or there's an issue, and things will eventually work out for me because it did in the past. And it's none of those things will last forever. Even like if I feel a severe pain or something, like this is not going to last forever. It's a temporary.
Do you have, and I'm sure in the book there's billions of them, but do you have a story that you can share about when you were an interpreter over there?
Oh, there's so many stories.
Give
many.
us a story that will make us want to read about the rest.
There's one story that was with my very first unit that I was working with. And it was the culture differences. We went to a meeting and we had more than 50 local elders.
Okay.
So it was a huge meeting. We call it Shora. That's the local term that we used. A huge gathering. And very influential local elders and tribal elders were there. And at some point, like during our break, we just started talking about lives here in the United States. I didn't know much about it. And then the elders started talking about, Afghan cultures and local traditions, and to talk about women, talk about wives and kids. And I remember my platoon leader. He was first lieutenant. Newly graduated from West Point, didn't know much about Afghanistan. It was his very, very first unit, first deployment to Afghanistan. So we're sitting there and we're talking about lives in Afghanistan. We're talking about lives in America. And the elders, they talked about, like, in our culture, you cannot have kids before marriage. Like, you have to be married to have kids. But it's different here, right? In America, we all know that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know at that point, right?
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and those elders talking about their kids and their wives and their marriages. And then they looked at my platoon leader like, oh, what about you?
Right.
And he mentioned like, oh, I have a son. So, and they didn't ask him another question. I think the conversation kind of shifted. But then after probably like 10, 15 minutes, there was another elder ask him the same questions, like, how long you been married for?
Oh.
And he did not know that he couldn't tell him like he's not married, but he could still have kids, right?
Right, yeah.
And then he said, well, I'm not married. And then I remember the same elder who asked him the first questions, and like, didn't he say like about 10, 15 minutes ago that he had a son? Now he's saying he's not married. It
doesn't compute with them.
No, like, yes. And then like the trust issue too, like, they thought he's a liar.
Oh.
Because he said at one point, like,
there's no way that he would have a kid if
like,
he's not married.
How is that possible? and then like, okay, let me explain this to you. And he wanted like, sir, I told him like he did not know what was going on. I said, we gotta explain this to them because now they're talking and thinking that you lied to them. They do not understand that, the culture differences. So that was something, but just one tiny story.
Yeah.
But there's so many other stories.
That's true. Yeah.
Other funny stuff that happened.
That is such a
just like the different
cultural
cultures.
difference. Yeah.
And also there's one other story. I mean, if you're my first book, you will find the F word, the F bomb that I use it. I don't know. I don't remember how many times I've used it. And I've used it in my book too. Because you grew up with soldiers.
Right.
And that was their favorite words, and it became my favorite word too.
Yep.
And I remember we had some high-rank government officials from the state visiting our base. And they were planning to go out and visit some elders too. And I remember my platoon leader told me, and everyone else, like, John, be careful with the F word because, we don't care. Everybody used it.
Right.
But now we have some high government officials there from D.C. So, we're going to be interpreting for everybody. Just make sure you don't use the F word. They're like, okay, don't worry about it. I got it. I will try not to use it. And then I was okay. But I interpreted for about 20, 25 minutes and it was still good. And then after that, I just got stuck. I couldn't move forward without using it. Like my brain says like, nope, you can't do it. Because I used to use it with every single word. And then I dropped it like unintentionally. I
Oh
said
no.
it, and everyone was laughing so hard. The soldiers was laughing so hard, and he was keep looking at me. And I said, "We shouldn't be using it." I said, "Like, I'm sorry, man. I can't just move forward without it. I have to say it."
Okay, so those are some good stories. I've heard a
Well,
few more and they're great. Like what you've lived like a whole lifetime just between in those 9 years
yeah,
over there. Yeah.
yeah. It was just a crazy experience.
So what made you decide to start up your latest company?
I heard about this opportunity,
Mhm.
and I didn't know much about it. But then I looked into it. I had the ability to do it. I heard and I wanted to do some my own research. And when I did my own research, I learned that, it is good opportunity. It's a great opportunity to have my own company
Mhm.
because I used to work with other companies, providing
Yeah.
workforce for them. And then I decided to have my own company. And I
Yeah.
said it would be much easier for me to have my own company rather than
Mhm.
talking to other companies because it was I mean, I would say it was hard, reaching out to other companies and providing workforce for them during
Uh-huh.
those seasonal, the forestry
Mhm.
fire that we have every year.
Right.
And then I decided to open up my new own company, Rakistan
Mhm.
Security LLC.
Yeah, that's so neat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of because you knew that there was a need for it. So you're like, it would be easier just to have my own company than trying to always try to find, like, communicate with all the, how many other similar companies are there around here?
There are a bunch of companies out
Uh-huh.
there right now. I will say more than 10, but every company has the opportunity to
Yeah.
get the contract. It's
Yeah.
mostly like a federal contract that you get. You get
Mm-hmm.
email and you
Okay.
get bet, and if you get it.
Mm-hmm. Got
But
it.
yeah, I mean, it just I see the need. I
Mm-hmm.
really, I saw the need, and I said I'm gonna have my own company, and then I did
Uh-huh.
it.
That's so
It was a
awesome.
little bit of paperwork, but I was able to get just like
Yeah.
I said, it was part of my list, and I was able to
Uh-huh.
do the paperwork and everything else. So the forestry, as we all know, that we have fire every year.
Uh-huh.
And it is not my company is not only operating here
Mm-hmm.
in Oregon. It operates beyond Oregon in
Mm-hmm.
our neighboring states as well, like in
Mm-hmm.
say in Idaho, in California as well.
Uh-huh.
Um, and they need security guards every year for those fires.
Like while the fires are happening?
Yes, while the
Okay.
fire is happening,
Uh-huh.
they have various checkpoints that they run because in the same vicinity where I mean,
Mm-hmm.
civilians are not allowed to drive, or civilians are not allowed to enter those areas
Okay.
because of the risk,
So
and they
they're
have to
keeping
have some
civilians out.
yes, and
That's
they have
okay.
to have some people out there to
Mm-hmm.
keep the civilian out
Okay.
because it's pretty risky out there. So that's what we do. We provide workforce. They
Mm-hmm.
ask for like 20 or 30 or 40 people,
Mm.
and that's what we do. And I already have a list of
Wow.
people,
Yeah.
and I said, okay, I can provide these people, and said, okay. So
Uh-huh.
that's how it works.
Wow. So are they keeping people out because the civilians, like, they live there, or they own the land, or
Uh,
just
uh,
various?
Everybody,
Yeah.
let's say if there's a fire, as we all know
Mm-hmm.
that, then you're not allowed to, except the firefighters,
Mm-hmm.
there are people that,
Uh-huh.
but everyone else, there are
Mm-hmm.
certain areas that you cannot drive or you cannot enter
Mm-hmm.
because of the smoke, because of the fire, and anything can
Mm-hmm.
happen. And people who lives there, and the people there, if they still live there,
Mm-hmm.
so we run different checkpoints, and we have security guards
Wow.
out there, 2 or 3 people per checkpoints, and
Mm-hmm.
they stop every single vehicle and asking people where they're going and how far they go and how far they can go and they cannot. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the message that they share with everybody, just to make sure
Mm-hmm.
everybody's safe out there.
Yeah. Wow. So then are the security officer, what do you
Security guards, yeah.
guard, are they independent contractors, or are they like a W-2 employee for you?
They are independent contractors,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How is that? How many independent contractors do you have so far right now?
So I lost the contract this year
Uh-huh. It
because
happens.
the prices were, because like I
Yeah.
said, there were like more than 10
Uh-huh.
companies, and the
Yeah.
prices kind of like some of them
Oh,
went
yeah.
very low.
Yeah. That's just
And
gonna
they lost
happen.
some money because they didn't reach out to me afterward, like, oh
Uh-huh.
my gosh, we didn't make any money this year because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you guys did it.
Yeah.
So it's always like 40, 45,
Mm-hmm.
50, between like 150
Mm-hmm.
people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a
So,
lot of people.
and then your client is, you said, at the state, or like who hires you?
It's the state, but
Uh-huh.
it's a federal contract. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so that would have been, you before have been in the role where you were hiring the is it through Salem for Refugees?
No, it is
Yeah.
it's a private business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Wow.
I can find anyone. I mean,
Yeah.
we can find people through Center for Refugees, or I know people, or I reach out to people. There was a fire closer to Medford, between Medford and California.
Yeah.
And I was able to reach out to some people in California because it was closer to them to just drive down there, because they give you in a window of time, like, if there's like, they needed people by 10 o'clock, so you have to have people out there by 10 o'clock. So it was much easier for me to get people from California than from here. So
yeah. And so, okay, so you identified the need for it. And then, like, have you ever done the role of being a security guard or not? And then you just had to learn how to start running a business without ever doing it? Or
I mean, not in an exact forum, but
Yeah.
I work with security guards for many years. I also visited a bunch of companies that they were working and they were doing the same business.
Oh, yeah.
And that experience really helped me. And I also took some security classes as well.
Okay. Yeah.
To be certified, and there's certain rules you have to know, you have to understand.
Yep.
But not in this, like in the same field, but I worked with other security guards working back home and
Got it.
also here as well.
So what is something that you learned or wish you had done differently a year ago when you started your company?
I wish I didn't wait.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could have taken risk.
Yeah.
I wish I was more flexible to what taking risk. That's the lesson that I learned. And a lot of times there are opportunities, and we're thinking about like, oh, there's a risk, but everything has a risk. And that was something I wish I've never even thought, and I've never ever thought about it. But,
Right. Yeah. So you wish that you'd taken the chance.
Yeah, I wish I
sooner.
could take the chance earlier.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did it though.
Yeah, I mean, it
Better late
finally
than never,
happened, and I did it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I learned this lesson. There's always risk, and there's there's risk with pretty much everything we do, right?
Right.
I think it's just okay to take some risk, and it is okay to take a chance, because life is a chance. So
Yeah.
that's the lesson I learned.
Yeah. That's so good. Well, is there anything before we close out? And thank you so much again for being here.
Well,
We'll have to get coffee because I could sit and talk to you all day. But is there any just final like word of wisdom, maybe going off of the not being afraid to take risk, but just for those that are listening and they might be stuck or not sure how to break through, and take that chance on themselves? Do you have any other words of wisdom or advice for them?
Well, my own experience, everything that I have done and I'm still doing, the risk that I took, both physical and emotional.
Yeah.
And here I am. One piece of advice that I give everyone, that we have the abilities and the skills of doing a lot of different things. And we can do it. And I don't believe in giving up. Like, I'm hopeful. I'm very I'm hopeful for everything. I do believe we can do things. Who would have thought that one day I'll become an author of 3 books, someone who never really went to a really good school. So I always believe that, we can do a lot. We have the abilities, we have the skills, but we have to believe in ourselves, and we just stop saying no to ourselves about things that we can do.
All right. That's awesome. That's great advice. And
Well,
for those listening, how can they find you and follow you and just see when your book comes out and everything like that?
Well, I do have social media. I want to say I'm like super active, but they can follow me on social media, Nasirullah John Safi, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X now. I'm not very active there. I do have a monthly newsletter from Substack, LinkedIn, or they can reach out to you.
Yeah.
And my last
That's
book,
right.
my 3rd book, is coming out pretty soon. It's called 1,000 Miles to Freedom, an incredible story of a young Afghan girl. So I'm very excited about it.
Yes.
We'll have a signed copy, I promise.
All right. Yes, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Compass Visuals and Hotel Salem, for sponsoring this episode.